Hi, this is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast, where CEOs, CMOs, and communications experts and leaders share their real advice. It's 6 questions under 9 minutes because we get to it real fast. So let's get to it. Welcome to the show. In a few sentences, could you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Andrea Wilson Woods. I'm a writer who loves to tell stories. I'm a patient advocate who founded the nonprofit Blue Fairy, the Adrian Wilson Liver Cancer Association, in memory of my sister who died from stage 4 liver cancer. I'm also the CEO and co-founder of Cancer University, a health tech startup. And last fall, my best-selling and award-winning book, Better Off Bald: A Life in 147 Days, was published. It's a medical memoir about raising my sister in my 20s and losing her to cancer.
Wow. Well, congratulations on the book, but you are a one busy woman, I have to say, and you're doing such incredible work. So I'm thrilled to have you on today. Angie, what would you say is the best thing about being a leader in your industry and in your space?
Well, I know a lot of people say this, but I love what I do. When I get frustrated, and I do, or when I have a bad day, I just remember what my purpose is. In addition to my sister, I've actually lost 5 other family members to 5 different kinds of cancer: liver, lung, bone, head and neck, and breast. And I'm just on this mission to change cancer care in this country.
Wow. I love the word purpose, and you're so right. I mean, you're doing such incredible work and you have such a strong purpose and a personal connection. And that takes us into the next question, which is around connections. I hear from other leaders and executives that creating authentic connections, whether it's your customers, employees, patients, etc., it can be challenging when there's a lot of noise out there. And I'd love to hear your take on that.
So I thought a lot about this question. um, And the first thing that came to mind was, if you do what everyone else does, if you swim in the red ocean, then yes, it's going to be incredibly difficult to stand out. If you have no idea what I mean when I say red ocean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, read the book Blue Ocean Strategy.
Yep, that's a great book and great recommendation. Do you have any other real advice for other leaders? Is there anything else that you think is really important?
I was talking to this entrepreneur last week who is providing this amazing service for cancer survivors about how to regain their sexuality and how to deal with that. And on the surface, she is very successful. She's won these prestigious competitions. She's received all this funding through grants. But what seemed to be missing from her business was sales and marketing. And she did not seem to know how to market or even sell her product. And instead, she was really competing on price. And that doesn't really work unless you're Walmart or perhaps Amazon. So I think if you're a leader and it's your business, you have to understand how to market and how to sell your product or service.
Yeah, absolutely. The 4 P's of marketing, right? You can't get away with not having one of them.
Right.
Price is there and it's important, but
Yes.
you've got to have the other vehicles. Well, that is great advice. All right, before we get to our last question, are there any other successful executives such as yourself that you would like to give a shout out to or believe should be on this podcast?
Dana Mantilla, hope I'm saying her last name right. Okay, so her company, Identity Protection Planning, was established to help educate, organize, and protect people against identity theft. Aside from that, she is just so funny. She should have her own stand-up comedy special on HBO or Netflix. She is hilarious, and she takes what could be a really dry topic and makes it very accessible and funny. So, Dana, big shout out.
Awesome. Yeah, she sounds fantastic. Thank you. All right, our last question gives us a little vantage point on where you got started. So
Oh no.
could you tell
Please,
us?
no, it doesn't. I promise.
Okay, well, just tell us about your first job, but we won't judge.
Okay, please don't. Well, my first job outside of babysitting, which I actually started babysitting when I was 9 years old, and babysitting like actual babies at 9 years old. So in that sense, I am a caregiver. I was a cashier at Arby's during high school. I made a whopping $3.50 an hour, and I worked weeknights. I worked weekends. I came home smelling like roast beef, but I also really hustled. that same year, I actually took a job over the holidays for a department store where you did inventory at night. So I would leave my job at Arby's and go work at this department store all night long doing inventory, which I didn't think would be bad because I thought, oh, well, I'll get to count makeup or, look at all this makeup and cosmetics or, clothes. But instead, I kid you not, all of the inventory I did during this seasonal time was men's ties. That's all I did was count men's ties. So incredibly boring. Made a decent amount of money over the holidays to buy Christmas presents, but very boring. So please do not judge me on those early jobs in my life.
No,
But
no.
I was never afraid to hustle. I was never afraid to go out and just get a job.
Yeah, no, and that's great. Again, I speak to a lot of leaders who started in a similar way. Food industry is such a grind, and to have that experience early on, and you learn so much about customer service. You learn about getting somewhere at a certain time and not, being late. You learn about managing time and working with people and doing everything from, rinsing off your dish to
Mhm.
answering a question to serving a meal. So I think it's such an important part, and we've talked about this quite a bit about how it's a great way to get started.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I managed the drive-through because I was the person who could do the calculations in my head. For some reason, the cash register didn't work very well, and so I remember that distinctly. That because I was able to do calculations in my head and know the change and everything, I was the person in the drive-through.
Nice, very cool. All right, well, how can people get a hold of you or learn more about what you're doing?
Well, please connect with me on LinkedIn. It's by far my favorite social media. I don't even call it social media, but it's my favorite platform online. But if you want to reach out to me, AndreaWilsonWoods.com. And also, if you want to learn more about my nonprofit or Cancer University, just go to cancer.university, or my nonprofit for liver cancer is bluefairy.org.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, and thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Anna Crowe. For more insights, visit us at crowepr.com. Have a great day.